The sun bled into the red earth of Umuahia, and the air smelled of dust, mango sap, and sorrow. Under the old mango tree, Adaeze sat, her fingers trembling as they untied her wrapper. Beside her, little Adaeze, no older than 10, clutched a cloth doll stitched from rags, the only toy she owned. A tall woman from the city, dressed in bright ankara and perfume that filled the air, stood waiting by a shiny black car. Adaze's voice cracked like dry firewood. "My child, you will go and learn in the city. She will take care of you." Adaze's wide eyes searched her mother's face for a promise, a clue, a way to stay. But Adaeze could not meet her gaze. She pressed a small rosary into Adaze's hand, whispering, "Remember, my daughter, even in the city, God sees you." As the car door shut, a sound escaped Adaze's lips, a broken sound that could not be called a cry, nor a prayer. Adaeze turned back through the window as the village grew smaller, until her mother became nothing more than a blur swallowed by dust. That was the day Adaze's childhood ended. Chapter 2. The House in the City. The city lights looked like stars that had fallen to the ground. Adaeze had never seen such brightness, such noise. Honking cars, men shouting, women laughing, radios blaring high-life music. But soon she learned, the city's beauty was only for those who could afford to look up. Madame Ruth's house was big, fenced, and cold. "Your name is Adaeze, Abi? Good. You will sweep, wash, clean. If you do well, you will eat." And so the days began. Morning after morning, Adaeze scrubbed floors until her hands cracked. She washed clothes that smelled of perfume she would never wear. At night, she curled up on a thin mat by the kitchen door, her small body aching, whispering her mother's name to the darkness. Sometimes, when Madame's children came home from school, they would laugh at her tattered dress or call her village rat. But Adaeze would smile quietly, clutching her doll. She refused to let the city break her spirit completely. Chapter 3. The Girl in the Window. Weeks turned into months. From her small corner, Adaeze watched the city through a cracked window. Cars racing, children laughing on their way to school, women walking with handbags and confidence. Every morning she'd whisper to herself, "One day I will walk freely too. One day I will not serve. I will be." But Madame's moods were storms. A broken plate meant no dinner. A slow response meant a slap. And sometimes, Adaeze went to bed hungry, her tears soaking her pillow. Yet something in her heart refused to die. A small, stubborn fire. At night, when the house was silent, she'd hum songs her mother used to sing, songs about rain, hope, and God watching even the smallest of birds. And sometimes, in the faint reflection on the window glass, she'd see her mother's face smiling softly back. Chapter 4. The Stranger with a Kind Smile. One Saturday, while Madame's children played outside, Adaeze was sent to buy bread from a corner stall. As she waited in line, a woman beside her, middle-aged, kind eyes, dressed simply, noticed her torn dress and tired look. "Who do you stay with, my dear?" the woman asked. Adaeze hesitated. Her voice came out small. "Madame Ruth, I help her at home." The woman's brow furrowed. "You look too young to work like that." "What of your parents?" Adaeze looked down. "Mama said she cannot feed me, so she sent me here to learn work." The woman sighed, that deep kind of sigh that carries both anger and sadness. She bought 2 loaves of bread, slipped one into Adaze's small hands and said, "Take this, and don't ever forget, your life is more than this. You hear?" That night, Adaeze hid the bread under her mat and smiled for the first time in months. It wasn't much, but it was kindness, and kindness she thought could be as powerful as love. Chapter 5. The Letter. Time passed. Adaeze grew taller, quieter. She had learned to survive the city, to keep her pain hidden, her hope tucked away like a secret treasure. One day, while cleaning Madame's living room, she found an envelope tucked between old books. It was addressed to her, Adaeze. Her heart stopped. Inside was a small letter, written in her mother's shaky handwriting. "My Adaeze, if you ever read this, know that I did not give you away because I stopped loving you. I gave you away because I wanted you to eat, to live, to have a chance. Every day I pray that the city will not take your heart. Be strong, my light. Mama loves you still." The paper blurred through her tears. For hours, Adaeze clutched that letter to her chest, sobbing silently. Something inside her shifted. For the first time, she forgave her mother, and she promised herself this city would not destroy her. It would build her. Chapter 6. The Escape. One night, Madame Ruth's anger flared like fire. A plate had cracked, a simple accident, and Madame struck Adaeze with a belt, screaming, "Useless girl! I fed you, clothed you, and this is how you repay me." Adaeze ran to the corner, trembling. Something broke inside her that night. the fear that had chained her for years. When the house finally slept, she took her small bag, her doll, and her mother's letter. She stepped into the night barefoot, heart pounding. The streets were cold and endless, but Adaeze walked. She walked until dawn painted the sky pink over the slums. She didn't know where she was going, only that she would never go back. Chapter 7. The Home of Many Girls. By chance or fate, Adaeze found herself near a small church. She sat on the steps, shivering. A woman in a nun's habit opened the gate. "Child, what are you doing here?" Adaeze could barely speak. She just held out the letter. The woman read it silently, then hugged her tight. "You'll be safe here." That was how Adaeze came to the home of many girls, a small shelter for abandoned and trafficked children. For the first time in years, she slept in a real bed. She went to school. She learned to read and write. And every Sunday, she would stand in the church choir, her voice trembling but full of light, singing, "Even in the dark I will shine." Chapter 8. The Woman She Became. Years later, the city that once caged her became the city she conquered. Adaeze, now grown, stood before a crowd of children, girls just like she once was. Behind her was a signboard that read, "The Adaeze Foundation for Girls, Giving Back Hope." She told them her story, not as a victim, but as a survivor. "Sometimes," she said, her voice steady, "love doesn't look like hugs or gifts. Sometimes love looks like letting go. But what matters is this: no matter where you start, you can write your own ending." As applause filled the hall, Adaeze looked through the window at the city skyline glowing gold in the sunset. The same city that once broke her, now shining under her name. And in her heart, she whispered, "Mama, I made it.